Have you ever found yourself in a situation where you're choking and you know exactly what to do? The international sign for choking, someone gives you a Heimlich, you give yourself an abdominal thrust, maybe you call 911. But what would you do if your brain was choking on negative thoughts? Now, in the United States, approximately 3,000 people die by choking each year, compared to the 50,000 who die by suicide. Should we not have a mental health Heimlich maneuver to use when these negative thoughts become life-threatening? Nobel Peace Laureate Desmond Tutu said, "We need to stop just pulling people out of the river. We need to go upstream and find out why they're falling in." This really resonated with me. You see, I served 26 years in the Army, 5 tours in Afghanistan and Iraq, and I've lost more soldiers to suicide than to combat. Solving this problem is personal for me. But this just isn't a veteran problem. According to the World Health Organization, suicide is the second leading cause of death among 15 to 29-year-olds. Staggering, 450 million people suffer from mental illness. And it's the leading cause of disability worldwide. It costs the global economy $1 trillion a year. So it's understandable that so many have been trying to address this global mental health and suicide crisis. The issue, however, is it's focusing primarily on 3 things: reducing stigma, don't be embarrassed that you fell into the river; increasing mental health literacy, let me teach you how to swim in the river; and access to care. Let's give you a flotation device. And all of these efforts are commendable. But what if we went upstream? What if we spent equal resources and proactively provided the tools needed to reduce the risk of falling into the river in the first place? Imagine if we reinforced the riverbank. Imagine if we placed warning signs and railings and we eliminated what was causing the person to move towards the edge of the river. So I went upstream, and I discovered that cognitive distortions were a large contributor to mental health crisis. Now, cognitive distortions are common thinking patterns that can lead to negative thoughts and behavior. They are patterns that draw people closer to the edge of the river. Cognitive distortions choke the brain. They create harmful perceptions, sometimes even false realities. They suffocate your positivity. One example and type of negative distortion is called personalization and self-blame. That's when you assume responsibility for things that you can't even control. Your mind gets out of control. You'll say, "Oh, the football team lost because I didn't wear my lucky shirt," or "my comrade was killed because of me." I know this because I struggled with overwhelming negative thoughts to the point where it led to suicidal ideations. And in my own quest to restructure my thinking, to challenge those cognitive distortions, I sought help. A fellow veteran of mine who's also a mental skills coach for a Major League Baseball team said, "You have to strengthen your mind. You have to improve your psychological performance. You should focus on it as much as your physical performance." Okay, sure, but how? And that is when I discovered the unique power of humor. You see, I had always loved consuming comedy. I loved writing jokes, being the funny person. In fact, when I was little, the thing that would give me the most joy was watching my mom laugh, watching other people laugh. She would watch The Tonight Show and her shoulders would shake and her face would light up. And for a few minutes in the evening, she wasn't stressed about the bills or taking care of all of us kids. And I knew then at a very young age that it was super powerful and healing. Now, they say that laughter is the best medicine. It is not. I wouldn't go that far because I have had 2 kids, and I will tell you, an epidural is the best medicine. But there are numerous physiological benefits to humor and to laughing. We know this. But I wanted to take it a step further. What about using joke writing and consuming comedy, like offering a unique way to reframe your negative thoughts, increase your mental resilience? I mean, think about it. What makes a comedian funny? Aren't they just taking everyday stuff and they're observing it? They're asking, what's weird, hard, stupid, and scary about it? They turn it into relatable, optimistic commentary. One of my favorite comics, Jim Gaffigan, tells a joke where he describes his wife's brain tumor. The doctor tells him that it's the size of a pear. He shares the absurdity of the doctors talking with him about something so serious in the terms of fruit size. Do they not think we know what a centimeter is? And despite the gravity of his wife's health condition, the crowd roars with laughter because we realize how ridiculous the whole thing is. Humor also makes us better problem solvers. When someone gets a joke, the feeling it elicits is the same as when they solve a problem. By incorporating humor, we become better problem solvers. We develop a cognitive process that helps us understand the complexity, and we retrain our imaginations and into thinking in a nonlinear way. We are able to interpret the world around us differently. Now, I had figured this out, but I wanted to help others. How do we help heal their mind? So I started sharing with some people, and one of those was Melvin. Melvin was visually impaired. He was frustrated with his wife. He came into the session and he said, she just doesn't get it. I said, all right, let's write a joke about it. My name is Melvin. I've been legally blind for 6 years. Yesterday, my wife asked me if I'd seen her keys. Nope. Then she asked me if I'd seen her glasses. Nope. Finally, she said, babe, do I look fat in this dress? Yep. Yes, you do. And see, that is an example of how humor can create an atmosphere of levity and a sense of perspective that dissolves tension, sometimes between two people. It offers a cognitive shift in how we view what is stressing us, because humor and creativity are both about looking at your problems and challenges in novel ways, developing new connections that you never thought about before. It can even help if you use a little dark humor. I know this firsthand. My mother-in-law fell. She fractured her femur. It was pretty bad. We called 911 immediately, and I could tell she was in pain. I was holding her hand as the paramedics rushed in, and I noticed that they were very good looking. In an effort to distract her from her pain, I squeezed her hand. I said, dang, if I would have known how good looking they were, I would have pushed you down the stairs a long time ago. She cracked up laughing, and for a brief moment, she wasn't thinking about her pain. So whether you feel like you're choking or you've fallen into a river of depression, humor and its hilarious powers provide you a way to regain your psychological strength. It dislodges those negative thoughts from your brain like a Heimlich maneuver. It clears the mental airway, allowing for positivity to flow through and reinvigorate your body. A comedian friend of mine recently attempted suicide. He asked me to visit him, and he warned me, I don't want any pity, I just want you to make me laugh. Well, okay, I'm up for that challenge. After all, he was a Marine, and any opportunity a soldier can have to make fun of a Marine, I'm there for it. So I walk in, I said, you ate too many crayons. Seriously, or maybe you were in the Air Force, because a Marine would not have missed. He laughed so hard, and without missing a beat, he replied, well, I was infantry, guessing you weren't being literal when you said I needed a new headshot. We both laughed, and it was dark, but we found comfort in that power of humor, because humor can do something that very little else can. Humor keeps the person from falling into the river.